Future Jam.
Welcome to the Future Jam, a tech news podcast for enthusiasts and casual listeners alike. I'm Mike, and once again, I'm here with my good pal, Alex. What's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody, it's me, Alex. How's it going? How's life?
I'm back from vacation. I'm hating it already.
Yeah, coming back from vacation's the worst.
It's almost worse than going on vacation.
Well, it is worse than going on vacation. No one says going on vacation's bad.
Well, I mean, vacations always end up being, like, never to the level of what you expect them to be, you know?
I don't know. Last vacation I went on was at that level.
Well, I mean, some days are, like, really great, like, oh, this is awesome, and then other days you're like, well, what am I doing with this extra time that I have?
You need to start planning better vacation. That's why going hiking sucks, Mike.
I agree, and also getting sunburnt and all that stuff.
Yeah, you have to get that sunblock on you.
Yeah. Also, I got called out, Alex. I got called out. Somebody I work with listened to one of our episodes and slightly annoyed that I made fun of their ginormous lump of keys.
Yeah, you can't make fun of people you know.
I wasn't making fun of them. I was making fun of their large lump of keys.
Well, you're making fun of the fact that they wanted to get a air tag.
Yeah. So, and also, I had to eat my own words because I said I never lost my keys.
Yeah, and then you lose them.
Well, we were kayaking, and for some reason I had them in my back pocket, and you know you have Velcro on your swim trunks, and Velcro doesn't really work well underwater, I found out. So we pulled off to the side, and I decided to jump off a river rock, you know, into the river. Nice, fun thing. And got to shore, and I'm like, out of habit, I just touched the back pocket, and the keys are gone.
We're always grabbing your own ass, so it makes sense you would go for your back pocket. But
luckily, the river was super, super clear, and I noticed it immediately, and somebody was able to peer down deep, like 10 feet deep, and see him at the very bottom, and somebody dove down and got him for me.
I like how somebody else saw them, and then somebody else got them. You did no work to find your keys, but if you had the air tags, you would have easily found them.
Well, that was a question we proposed, or we posed. Would the air tags work in that situation? I don't know. But,
I don't think so. Underwater like that. I think they're probably waterproof, but it's always like, these are waterproof up to like 5 inches. They're water. Something like that.
Well, those keys definitely weren't super waterproof. The remotes don't work anymore.
How long ago was this? Was this just
Yeah,
week?
over vacation. So I always have to eat my words at some point.
Yeah.
So
you think this guy jinxed you?
Yeah, he jinxed me. So, you know, I won't make fun of you again, fellow employee that I work with. I'm not going to call him out by name. I wasn't actually making fun of him, but anyways, you got anything before we jump into the dumb tech of the week, Alex?
No, not really. Yeah, we'll push back a day this week because Mike decided to go to a baseball game and not work on the Future Jam, so.
Wait, you were with me at this baseball game.
Yeah, we both went to the baseball game, but that's why we didn't go. We went to a game on Monday, and it sucked, but.
You left so mad because your team was losing, and you just, I never seen you so mad in my entire life. You were just like, I'm leaving, bye.
Yeah, the Phillies bullpen is awful, and the coaching staff is terrible. It was frustrating to watch.
And we scored like 10 points on you in like 3 innings.
Yeah, it was terrible. Terrible.
It was fun for me. I'm like, it was so much scoring that I got bored. Like, oh man, another home run. Oh, do we need this? I don't think we need this. I don't think we need these extra points right now. But let's just jump right into the dumb tech of the week. This one you added, listening to Spotify. You can listen to your Spotify in a web browser on an iPod?
Yeah, so I know.
I don't understand.
I know you love the iPod. So
Zune all the way.
I know you're a Zune man, and for some reason loved it. So a software developer, Tanner Bellerate, I don't know how to say his last name.
Sorry, Tanner.
What?
I was apologizing to the software developer. He's a big fan.
No, but he created this web app, and you can sign into your Spotify or Apple Music, and it would just work like the old iPods would. So you can have like the circle key around a circle menu, and then have like cover flow.
Oh, that sounds amazing to use in a web browser with a mouse, like clicking around the little circle. How would you even do that?
Well, I pulled it up on my phone. I didn't sign in the Spotify, but I just used it on my phone, and you can act like you're using an old iPod.
I guess you have to be really bored to do this, or like I guess I don't have much of a nostalgic bone in my body, but maybe for people who are just who just need that nostalgia buzz.
I can see people like hanging out and like, oh, look at this, and using it as like a show thing. I mean, I still use my iPod.
Can you see people doing this on the regular though? I feel like it's a novelty thing that you would just try it once.
Yeah, I think it's like a way to get his name further out there.
And he's probably going to get it taken down because I heard somebody else tried this a little while ago, and Apple did a cease and desist on him.
Yeah, I still use my iPod.
Didn't you? I thought your battery was gone.
It doesn't last as long as it used to, but we have like one of those radio iPod like dock things, so you can like have an alarm clock and like a iPod dock.
Yeah, so keep that around. That's gonna be like an antique soon.
I think it has to be 15 years old.
That young?
I got it in like 2006, right?
I just remember the time when every single device you'd buy had an iPod dock on it for some reason. Like you'd buy a exercise bike and have an iPod dock. Just about a toaster had an iPod dock at one point probably. It was just a popular thing to just throw those on everything.
My wife's car has like a special like connector for like a iPod.
And I think a lot of companies learned their lesson from that because there's not a lot of proprietary ports on things anymore like that. I can't think of anything that's like an iPod dock like thing anymore.
No, it's all Bluetooth. It's
all Bluetooth. So thankfully, because you don't want to just throw junk out when it stopped becoming useful to you. But let's jump into our next dumb tech of the week. And I added this one because I thought this was so stupid. Everybody has like the Hey Google devices, and I'm sorry, I triggered everybody out there probably, or the Amazon Alexa devices, but Amazon developed like an open platform so anybody can use their platform and make their own like voice activation service. So Verizon decided, well, we're going to make a smart display of our own, and the wake word's going to be, "Hey Verizon."
Yeah, it's the same thing as everybody else's, but you should come up with something cool.
First of all, phone companies are like the most hated companies out there. Everybody hates them. They all are like the bottom of the barrel rankings. Nobody wants to mention Verizon unless they're calling in to complain about something. Because Verizon, AT&T, they're all the same. Everybody hates all of them, overcharging us. So why would you want to say, "Hey Verizon"? Or, even use a third-party thing like this when you could just buy the Alexa device or buy the Google device.
Yeah, I just don't get why they would want to do it. My guess is you'll probably get this when you sign up with them. It'll be like a free gift that you get with them.
Thanks. Right in the garbage.
Yeah. Which I guess Verizon has. Verizon Blue Jean Video Call. I have never heard of this.
Probably for business only.
Yeah, I don't get why it's called Blue Jean, but the only difference is that you can have 4G on this device instead of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth.
Yeah, but are you going to carry a smart device with you somewhere where there's not an internet connection?
Yeah, all the time when you're hiking in the woods and all.
Oh, maybe this is going to be the first smart device that you can use in the woods while you're camping. So while you're camping, toasting marshmallows, you can say, "Hey Verizon, play something that I like.
It will know what you like.
It's that smart. So, yeah, I just thought that was completely dumb. But let's jump into our next one, unless you have anything else on that.
No, it's the same thing as everybody else. The only difference is 4G. And, like, the Hey Verizon is just too long. You think they would call it, like, Ver, like, Hey Ver, or Zun?
Boo.
Something
Okay.
Like, oh, that's Verizon. Something, like, cool, like a cool name with it.
Yeah, like
I
Siri.
don't like Hey Google. Like, I think that's
No,
stupid.
that one sucks, too.
Aren't they kind of going away with that, too? Now that you can just say Google, isn't that...
No, they're doing a thing where you don't even have to say a wake word. Like, they're gonna have like command phrases you can say that that will activate it. And they're slowly working those out because obviously you don't want to wake it up for every single time you accidentally say a wake word. But yeah.
Yeah, because that would be terrible. Like if you're sitting there and like we're talking about like play that funky music, like White Boy that song, and like your Google device is just going to start playing music every time. I can see that situation happen a lot.
Yeah, because that's constantly what we talk about over the dinner is we're constantly saying, honey, remember that one time I asked Google to play Hey That Funky Music White Boy, and it accidentally played Hey That Funky Music White Boy?
Yeah, and you're just constantly listening to it.
Or say you're at church and then the pastor somehow brings up Hey That Funky White Boy from the pulpit and then just starts playing from your pocket. I could definitely see that happening, or at a funeral.
Yeah, I think that's like a big thing that people have to look out for.
Or like the president is like giving a speech and somebody outside in the auditorium, all these pockets just start playing Hey That Funky White Boy.
I like how you change the name every single time. But let's move on to what I call our jerk tech of the week.
Well, spit it out.
Okay, so everybody knows Amazon hires like delivery drivers and all.
Wait.
But I guess like Amazon doesn't like have a way, like, because you're like an independent contractor, so I don't have like a way to track you or anything like that besides using algorithms.
Yeah, you have to download their app, I think as a Flex driver.
Yeah, and then you're rated on fantastic, great, fair, or at risk. And if you're at risk, they'll just fire you.
Yeah, I saw a whole bunch of stories of people like saying, I tried to deliver a package to an apartment complex and the doors were locked. And
one person said they had like a nail in their tire, so it moved them to at risk. But then they like raised it back up, and then Amazon still fired them.
And what's funny is you have to pay like a $200 fee to like say, hey, maybe you guys shouldn't have fired me. You have to pay $200 to basically fight this.
Yeah, to dispute it.
Yeah.
That right there tells you that Amazon does not care about the drivers. Like,
no, because they know that. They know they're not going to pay $200.
Yeah, somebody else is just going to do it. And like that's just to dispute it. Amazon's still just going to be like, nah, we're not bringing you back. Unless they really needed people back. So like Amazon, they just don't care about these drivers. I don't know why anybody would try to do this full term, like long term as a full-time job, because it really can just end at any moment. And like Amazon is trying really hard to automate deliveries, and that's like the next goal. Amazon's hiring all these people with the eventually goal like not to have any people working for them.
I mean, that's their dream, right? To not have to worry about anybody. I did see a guy on TikTok. He's an Amazon driver. I'm not sure why he docks himself like this, but he was talking about how he had 15 minutes to load up his whole truck with all the packages. And I guess they're just filling these trucks more and more and more with packages, like overloading them. And he has to wait when he pulls up to the door for the people who work inside the warehouse to wheel all the packages up to him. So he has to wait, and that counts for his time. And then he has just 15 minutes to load all this stuff up. So I feel like there's a lot of factors at play than just your like ability to drive and deliver packages.
And like though everything from them is based off like these algorithms, they don't really know what's going on and things like that. They just like punch in the numbers, like it should take you have this many packages in this route, it should take you this long. Like my father-in-law was a bus driver for a local school district.
Mm-hmm.
and they started using this new system that to do the routes that they had to follow these routes. And like he got the one route, and they're like, he's like, I have to make this like left-hand turn across like 3 like lanes to be able to get there on time. Like it's not safe, and then it takes you like 15 minutes longer than like everybody's routes was like in person 15 minutes longer than it said it should have took them. So like they're all getting like yelled at for not like hitting like the route like ticket. He's like, if no one's hitting it, then it's wrong. Like yeah, and like they have these routes that aren't safe, that don't make sense. You know, it's just like, well, we put in the computer, this is what you say it said you should do. A lot of times that doesn't work out.
Computer algorithms aren't always the best, and no. I think we've kind of learned that. And
it just seems like Amazon looks at people as that's another cog in the machine. They don't care.
Yeah, they're it's a very dehumanizing like way they do this too. It's just I don't understand. They just basically treat everybody like as a tool.
Yeah, and that they don't care. Like it's that simple.
And if you have to fit in this like ideal like metric, and if you don't, then they don't want you. But eventually they're going to learn that they're not going to be able to hire anybody.
And like that, they had issues with that when like people got like they were having drivers get like in accidents and all because they were like pushing themselves too hard, and like they're like, oh, this is not our problem. These are like the contractor companies that we hired out to. So they just like got rid of those contractor companies, but you're still wanting people to hit the same numbers. And if you notice everything with Prime now, like you're supposed to have 2-day shipping. Stuff's taking a lot longer than 2 days to get to you.
Yeah, Prime, and I think usually right now I'm at 2 to 3, maybe 4 days now. So they're not really living up to their end of the bargain either. No. So, I'm just not a big fan of Amazon. We had a couple other stories we cut from this episode that we could have talked more crap about Amazon on, but we don't want to go on and beat a dead horse. So
yeah, let's move on to Mike's favorite company in the world.
Oh yeah, Microsoft, huge fan.
Yeah, we all know you have that Windows tattoo on your chest.
Oh yeah, across my whole chest, all the way across. I just update the number every time a new one comes out. So, that's all I do.
So like, do you get it like laser removed and then put on? Because like, what did you do with like XP? Did you like get the numbers taken out and then XP on and then that taken out and then?
You put more thought in this than I did. I just kind of like cross it out and just add a different one right below it. So like there's a whole long list on my chest all the way down to my belly button by now.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we teased this before. Windows 11 was announced fully. And there's a lot of good and there's some bad. But I think overall it was I think it's a good step forward, honestly. What do you think of the design changes? So they had a couple interesting ones, I feel like. They centered the taskbar. It looks a little bit more, like, I guess, pretty. I don't know how else to put it.
My exact thoughts were it looks a lot more like Apple's operating system.
It's cleaner. It's just cleaner looking.
Yeah. So, yeah, they moved the taskbar from the corner, so now it's going to be in the middle.
But you can move back to the corner if you really want it to be in the corner as well.
It's supposed to be easier, and like when you open the taskbar, it's going to look a little bit different. But I heard it doesn't take that long to get used to. It looks like just a nicer, cleaner version of 10, which I think we talked about last episode, where Microsoft's kind of like peaked at what they can do with it. There's not as like big of a jump that they needed to make from 10 to 11. Yeah. But 11 is going to be able to, what I get from 11, it's going to be a lot more user-friendly and everybody, like, open to be used with everybody. Like,
yeah, so my favorite thing, because they're just basically tweaking things at this point. But do you ever use multiple monitors where you work?
Yeah.
So the biggest annoyance I feel like when you put your computer to sleep or lock it, all your windows that are on the second monitor all like move around and do random stuff all the time. Like, so when you unlock the computer, you have to reset back up the layout. And they're finally addressing this in Windows 11. Finally. I don't know why it took them this long, but yes. That's like one of the biggest things I think for this update. I feel like.
I think when I started working at home from the pandemic, trying to get my laptop and second screen set up, because there's also like a virtual point access, so it was like logging into my computer at work from a laptop. It was like the worst thing ever. It took me probably like an hour and a half to figure out how to get both screens set up, and like I was like the first one on my teams, and then to tell everybody else how to do it. It was just awful.
Your company should have still had me as IT. I would have been on the phone like nonstop talking to y'all, I'm sure. Also, they are taking some gaming improvements from like the Xbox that they did in the most recent version. So it's going to have like auto HDR and direct storage tech, so everything will load up a lot faster for games and that sort of thing. There's a couple other big things that changed. Nobody ever used the Microsoft App Store because the Microsoft App Store was complete garbage on Windows 10. Like complete garbage. They didn't even have Chrome. Like Chrome, they didn't. I'm not sure if they didn't allow Chrome or Chrome refused to go on there. But if you look through the Windows App Store, there's literally hardly any apps that you would ever use. Like if you use Reddit, there was like maybe one Reddit app and it was terrible. Like basically, it had every app that was bad they could think of and no app that was good.
Well, yeah, they didn't want mobile apps, really. It seemed like the big mobile companies, they didn't want on there.
No, so they finally redesigned it. It's going to be cleaner, slicker, and I think they're doing something. Microsoft's been really like consumer friendly lately, I feel like. They're letting app developers sell things on their own stores inside their app store and keep all the profits themselves.
Yeah, so they can do it, or they can use like a third-party vendor.
Yeah.
As well. So like, yeah, though, lately Microsoft has been like, hey, we're working with everybody, because now it's going to have the Amazon App Store, so you can get your mobile.
No, that's the big news. Android apps, Alex.
Yeah, Android apps. Sorry. Yeah, through the Apple. Well, didn't it say through the Amazon store?
So the thing is that's where it gets confusing a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a little thing. But you would go to the Microsoft store, and then it would show Android apps inside the Microsoft store. So they really push this hard. TikTok is going to be an app you can run on your Windows computer. So it's there, but you click the link and it redirects you to download it from the Amazon App Store. And Amazon App Store, just like the Google Play Store, it has Android apps. The thing is that I heard they reached out to Google first to ask them if they wanted to put their App Store into the Windows Store, and Google declined for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get that move by Google, unless Google's still kind of trying to push their computers. It makes sense. Amazon really hasn't tried to make a computer yet. I can see them doing it in the future.
But I think this is a big move because Apple, on their side, they were allowing like Apple iPhone apps to run on their computer, the M1 chips. I think this is Microsoft's way to fire back at Apple. And there's like millions of Android apps out there, and just about one for pretty much anything you can think of.
Yeah, Microsoft is really going the complete opposite way of Apple and just trying to work with everybody, make it so that they're the easiest to work with, making their things cleaner, and just trying to maintain that as the most popular operating system in the world. And it looks like everything they're saying, it looks good. Like,
let's hope. We always say every other operating system from Microsoft ends up being a dud. So hopefully they buck the trend. Because Windows 7 was great, Windows 8 terrible, Windows 10 pretty good. So hopefully Windows 11 is also good.
And it's a free upgrade for Windows 10 users, and it's going to start this holidays when they start rolling it out.
Yeah, and this is not all like great news, because they kind of got themselves in a little bit of a controversy as well with this and these announcements. Basically, they're kind of leaving out a whole bunch of older machines and kind of saying, "Hey, kick sand, you can't put Windows 11 on these devices." And they had a PC health checker, and basically the app would run on your device and let you know if it could run Windows 11 or not. And a lot of these computers were fully capable of running Windows 11, but then one chip on their device would like not allow it. And those chips are what's called the TPM chips. They're the trusted platform security chips on your device. And basically, they are going security first this time. And if you don't have a 2.0 chip, they're saying that you're not going to be able to install Windows 11, which 2.0 chips, I think, came out 4 or 5 years ago. So if you have an older machine than that, you're probably not going to have Windows 11.
Yeah. When they said Microsoft 10 is lasting until 2025, right? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
So you have time, and I assume most people would being if it's 5 years, that's like a 10-year-old computer. Most people would probably update their computer by then.
Yeah, I would hope so. But what's funny is you can download, if you're in a Windows Insider, you can download the preview build. And under the preview build, they're letting you pretty much install Windows 11 on any machine, or like a lot more machines than you would normally. And what Microsoft's saying is they're saying, hey, we're going to let all these insiders test out Windows 11 on their machines. And if it works out and it looks good, then we might, lessen the requirements for Windows 11.
That'd be a smart move if they did, if everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, it's just not, they're just not clearly communicating like what it's going to run on and how it's going to run and all that stuff. But everything else looks great. Everything else looks fantastic. But, there's just this little gray area right here that they're still working through. But
yeah, but you have anything else to add, or you want to move on to Tech
Yeah, let's
Bytes?
move on. Anybody out there wondering why we didn't give this much love to the Apple software? I feel like they've just been doing incremental changes lately as well. And not as many people use it, and I don't use it, so.
Yeah, Apple does their updates every. Yeah, they always do like their patches like every year and a half. It seems like, or 2 years.
Yeah,
Like,
this is more exciting.
This
is more exciting. It's been a
10
while.
Yeah, 5
Sorry,
years, 6
talking
years. No, you're fine. But let's start with our Tech Bytes.
Yeah, let's get into the Tech Bytes, Alex. Set that timer to 2 minutes.
And here we go.
Tech News Bytes.
All right, let's jump into our first Tech Byte of the week. Google's new support website will help you locate local U.S. food banks. Basically, Google launched a website called Find Food Support, which puts important resources on how to locate free and affordable food in the U.S. in one place. Perhaps the most useful feature is the website can use Google Maps to point you to the nearest food bank or food pantry or school lunch program.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, this is kind of what you want technology to be used for, to be able to help people. They said they teamed with like 90,000 places with free food support across all 50 states. Yeah, this makes sense. I mean, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people were struggling to find food and all. And this is just another way they can help. Hop online, find a local food bank.
Yeah, my only gripe about it is Google Maps, I feel like, is getting so overloaded with things. I have a hard time seeing that people are going to find this. Hopefully, the people that need it are going to be able to discover it easily. And it's not buried in all the other Google stuff on Maps, because it's just getting fully loaded with stuff.
Yeah, and my complaint about Google Maps is they just always make you take these small turns, and it doesn't save you any time. Let's keep me on the main road. That's beside the point. But they're going to have videos from YouTube showing how food insecurity affects everyone from all walks of life. So trying to get more information out there about food support and things like that.
Well, you sound super excited about it. Let's jump on.
I got nothing else to say about it. Let's move on. That's why it's a Tech Byte.
That's true. Let's jump on to the next one. And I swear we're not uplifting Google and bashing Amazon in the same episode. I feel like we're kind of unbalanced right now. But anyways, Google launched a new medical app outside of the United States, and it's a image recognition algorithm that will like scan your pictures and find like blemishes on your skin and let you know if you're ugly, or let you know if you have something that needs to be looked at by a dermatologist, right?
Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. So they're using machines to match algorithms. So because dermatologists, there's not many of them, and they're expensive, and usually like a long wait to see them.
Yeah, where are they? I don't even know where to find one.
But so yeah, you will just take a picture, and it can look at it and determine like if you have something. They say it's pretty accurate, but there's been little clinical testing, and hasn't really been used in the real world. They're just looking kind of at like old pictures. But the big thing is, it was approved by the EU, but not the FDA.
I don't know who to trust. Like sometimes I feel like the EU is more strict, and sometimes the FDA is more strict. So I don't know which one. I'm like, yeah, okay, they approved it. Thumbs up.
The FDA, the EU, kind of been like more lax lately with a lot of like the internet companies. I think they were so strong early on. They said the big issue is the FDA would want a lot more involvement in this, but it's like, I don't know. Google is like really going into the health section or sector. They've been putting a lot of money in it. I don't know how often I would trust us like taking a picture of something to determine like what I have. I would rather see a doctor.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just scanning existing pictures or if you have to specifically take a picture of something you think is a blemish and send it over. So, all right, jump into the next one. There is a experimental device that could treat ear infections, and it uses jets of plasma. I think this is exciting because as a child, I was plagued with many ear infections. I know you were, and I know, a lot of kids out there are as well. So this is a huge issue.
Yeah, so the University of Illinois has come out with the otoscope type device known as a microplasma jet array that would emit tiny jets of plasma and kill like the bacteria. So like they said, like 30% of antibiotics are ineffective against bacteria. And the issue is like bacteria keeps getting stronger against antibiotics. That's why if you're constantly getting ear infection, especially if you have a little kid that gets them a lot before they get tubes, they would like rotate you through like 4 different types of antibiotics. So they would say like this, you would put in your ear, and they've tried it on rats. So after 15 minutes, it killed off most of the bacteria without infecting the eardrum, which is like the big thing. So kind of just stick it in your ear, and it would pulsate these tiny plasma.
Yeah, I think it's cool. And then they'd use antibiotics if they need to clear out the like remaining stuff if there is any. They said they're developing ones that look like AirPods, so it's like less intrusive. And I also saw that they could possibly use this technology to like take out other types of infections as well, like strep throat and such. I don't know how they would do strep throat. Shoot a blast of plasma down your throat.
Ew.
I know, it's scary stuff.
Yes. So it would be interesting if it actually works. I guess like the jets of plasma disrupt the biofilm, and they were able to get the bacteria through there. So hopefully it works. It'll be useful for me.
Just for you.
That's all
right, we've developed this tech and to help out Alex Maloney, and we're going to ship it to him as soon as we're done. We're not going to charge him.
90% of the stuff we talk about, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care. That's what I care about.
Exactly.
The next one I don't care about.
All right. So our next one up is Tesla unveils its new supercomputer, and it's the 5th most powerful in the world. And they basically made this to train self-driving AI. It has some big numbers. I'm sure most of us probably won't know what this all means, but it sounds great. Tesla's using a 1.8 exaflop AI supercomputer.
What?
Yeah, that's right, buddy. This is like 12 iPhones strapped together. And it's packed with 5,760 GPUs that train neural networks in hopes that one day we'll get an autonomous vehicle. Maybe. I love how they need like this mega structure computer to like train autonomous driving when you and I can drive a car. Like, two of the dumbest guys in the area can drive vehicles.
I like not in the world, just the area.
Just the area.
Outside this area, we're not that dumb.
Yeah, this is a highly intelligent area.
I read this and all I thought was like, we're not close to self-driving cars. Like, if it's like you're building the 5th most powerful computer in the world, we're not close to self-driving cars.
Oh, get this! I also read that this isn't even the one they want us to know about. They're actually making another more powerful computer called the Dojo.
Ooh.
And that's the one that's going to really get us there.
Dojo is a lame name for a computer.
I know. But he's probably
call
like
it the
coming off of the
Magic
Matrix,
Box.
you know, like the Matrix where the computer trains, it injects the training into your brain. I don't know. Elon Musk is weird.
I know. He's been all over the news because he's upset his rocket got delayed launch.
But yeah, we're nowhere near close to self-driving. That's what I'm saying.
That's all I took the article as.
Exactly.
Like, we're not as close as people think they are.
And it's expensive. Russian scientists bring 24,000-year-old zombies back to life. No, not the zombies you're thinking of, like in Left 4 Dead or something like that. These are just little microscopic zombies.
Oh, good. Not real zombie. Feel like it would have been bigger news. Yeah, so if you don't know, Russia is a very cold place, especially in northeast Siberia. It's some of the coldest places in the world. But there's like this little organism, the Belojoid rotifer. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, and it actually has like multicellular, so it has like a gut and...
Yeah, and they're found in freshwater all over the world. Like, it's not like an animal they brought back. It's a current animal.
Oh,
but
what?
But they found them like frozen in like the riverbanks in Siberia. So they were able to like to defrost it, bring it back to life, and like it reproduced like it was fine. And they estimated that it was frozen around 24,000 years ago.
So I added this because it kind of sounds like a horror story a little bit. Like,
yeah.
That's kind of scary though. Like, what happens when like the ice starts melting and organisms that we thought were once dead just start coming back to life?
Well, I was reading an article about like these, like they call them like super viruses that were frozen in the ice that could be released, that we want to have like immunity for and stuff like that. I always thought that would be a cool like suspense thriller. But yeah, with the ice more melting, you're going to see more of the like, things like this.
Yeah, I guess what's interesting about this is they used to think only like single cell organisms were capable of this. So they're now finding out that multi-celled organisms can survive a prolonged period of time of being frozen and then coming back to life again. They have yet to actually find like a mammal or something like that to do this, but you know, we're going in the right direction.
And I saw that documentary Ice Age, where that squirrel keeps coming back to life after he's frozen.
Yeah, that's not a documentary.
Next topic.
All right. Study Nix's life in clouds of Venus, but maybe in Jupiter's. I feel like we get these all the time. And I remember seeing this like maybe last year even, where they said that Venus's clouds might have enough water vapor to support life. Well, it doesn't. For now, at least, as far as they know.
Yeah, it's 100 times lower to support Earth life. Like, I'm not sure if anything can survive in their clouds right now. They said if they do find something in Venus, like living organisms in the clouds of Venus, it'll be something completely different than we've ever seen before. But Jupiter has enough water in the clouds and the right atmospheric temperatures to support life.
Well, as far as what they're saying right now. Here's my theory, Alex. I think all these scientists are just kind of making up these numbers and just for the sole purpose of getting money funded to them.
Yeah, I feel like we should have spent more money on trying this to keep the planet we have that we know we can live on. Instead of like, hey, let's we could maybe one day live on these other planets. I don't want to live on these other planets. I like this planet. It's blue.
Well, okay, yeah, I agree. And I think both of these planets, Venus and Jupiter, it's a long shot there's life on either of them.
Yeah, but they have there's 3 more trips to Venus this decade. 2 by NASA and 1 by some European group. But, like, I don't care. It seems like a giant waste of money to me.
Yeah, unless we actually discover something really interesting. Also, the pictures they send back, I feel like I've seen better pictures.
Yeah, and I mean, we know women are from Venus, so what more do you need to know after
Oh,
that?
boo. All right, our final story of the week, as far as these go, is this one's also going to be the Twitter poll of the week. Yes, that's right. I'm bringing back the Twitter poll of the week.
What?
Maybe, if I remember to post. Anyways, China just announced that it's sending the first humans to Mars, and they're shooting for 2033. Basically, it's going to be like a multi-stage adventure. Primary stage is going to be sending robots to Mars and like getting everything prepared. Then they're sending humans, and then they will construct a permanent base and start like getting more and more people out there. So they have like multiple stages starting in 2033, going all the way up to 2043. So a 10-year plan.
Yeah, it's the China Academy of Launch Vertical Technology that's doing it. And I guess that's like the NASA or whatever. They're actually the first ones like to really outline their plan. So they said they're sending the first people to Mars. So like their plan is by 2023 to send robots up. And like every 2 years after that, they will do more. But the robots are supposed to come back, which I find most interesting out of all the the stages, because they're going to look for samples and like a base site. So I wouldn't want to be on the second site, the people that actually have to construct the base. I would be on the third one that just kind of shows up.
And I think we should just send anybody who really wants to go to Mars, because those people are fine with dying there, probably.
It's again, like, I don't see the urge to want to go to Mars and live.
No, I'd get bored very fast.
I think people just want to be the ones that do it. Like, hey, we're the ones that did it, Like the moon, you go up there and you come back, it was fine. But Mars, like, you're going there, you're kind of just going there. And it's just like, well, our planet's doomed, so we have to do something instead of just trying to help this planet.
Yeah, and they have some wild ideas, like they're going to use nuclear propelled vehicles, and they have a sky ladder system they're going to develop, which that sounds like a space elevator, but who knows what that actually means. But let's just get into the poll real quick. The poll is, who's going to land a man on Mars, or who's going to land a person on Mars first?
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. NASA, SpaceX, China, or Russia?
Or the Future Jam. What that? We're going to space.
No, we're not.
We're better than our own rocket.
Do you think those are the 4 good options? Or do you have one other one you wanted to add?
No, they're the ones that keep saying it. I know SpaceX really wants to. I don't know what Amazon's doing. I know, like, Bezos is going up there. I don't know how fast they'll get going.
Yeah, we didn't cover this, but yeah, Bezos and his brother want to go into space orbit, but insurance won't cover it, so maybe they won't, but maybe they'll just disappear.
Yeah, I kind of want to say China.
I would say China has the most money just to wastefully spend on it, and I feel like America's probably not too into it, because we already landed on the moon, so we don't have anything else to really prove.
Yeah, and that's like it's like a country shift to be like the first ones there. Like there's a new space race, but I feel I can see it being like a bunch of countries combined. Like if it's really that hard to get people there, I can see it being like a joint effort.
So yeah, we'll see what the people say in the poll this week. I'll leave it up for a week. I'll try to put it up there tomorrow at some point. All All right, let's jump into our summer series. And basically, we've been doing this every week. And that's about how things have changed post-pandemic and how it's kind of like forced industries to change and reevaluate how they do things. So this one's all about farming and basically the food industry.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everybody knows like a big part of this pandemic was food. Like factories shutting down because of COVID scares and things like that, and people like farmers not being able to get workers because borders were shut down. A lot of people don't like illegal immigrants and things like that, but they're the ones that do a lot of the work on these farms out west. So with like the borders being closed and things like that and people not being able to work, a lot of these farming companies had to switch to more automation, and it's becoming a big business. They said food and agricultural startups attracted a record $22.3 billion last year.
Dang.
Because they need it. They have to figure out a way to harvest the food, and that's a big one. Harvesting the food, planting the food.
Yeah, they have all sorts of like automated systems. They have like irrigation, automated fertilizing systems, harvesting and breeding systems. So we could go dig down deep into each one of those if we really wanted to and bring products to the table, but that's not. I feel like we're kind of doing like a overhead view of this. But what you're saying about them needing to get like more automation as far as picking goes, I kind of think we should have gone this way anyways, because that's like hard labor. That's like back-breaking labor, and a lot of people, it kind of like ruins your body, like bending over and picking all those things. So I'm all for like technology that doesn't force people to work these like hard jobs that just ruin your body.
Well, that's what they're saying. They now have like these harvesting robots that can harvest a lot of the food, and driverless tractors and sprayers that are replacing labor.
But it's funny, and not funny, but it's sad that it took a pandemic to force these companies to do things like this. And I'm sure they would have had to eventually anyways, because less and less people are willing to work those types of jobs. But yeah, it took a pandemic to get these companies to like be more, I'm not going to say moral, but like better.
I don't even think it's that. I think they kind of want to do this earlier, but they're just realizing now it's worth the money to put into this.
Yeah, it's forcing a lot of companies to spend money where they probably would have put it off to save money in the past.
Yeah.
And then, what were we going to say?
No, and like the irrigation's like a big thing, because especially out west with like California and the droughts, because that's one of the biggest states for food for all of America. Like the irrigation and like that technology.
Yeah, conserving really water as much as you can type of thing.
It really needs to be advanced if they're going to feed the projected population of the world by 2050, which is what everybody's kind of worried about, which is why these companies are putting so much in the automation. They said Tyson has spent $500 million in the past 3 years on automation. And
they said automated breeding systems. Are these like sexy robot cows?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly how it sounds.
Exactly. So we keep saying robots keep getting sexier and sexier, and they're targeting cows too. Now and chickens.
What was I gonna say? Well, that's like another thing that like for like the pandemic has kind of pushed is reducing calorie emissions and non-dairy. So like people saw a rise in non-dairy products and fake meats during the pandemic.
Yeah, I did see like a lot of the popularity of that starting to rise, and I still think it's yet to be determined like how like that, because it's just redirecting those resources to a different food product. So I'm not sure like how much better that food product is for the environment versus real meat or milk or whatever.
Yeah, but you're not killing an animal. I think a lot of people look at that.
Yeah, I guess that part. I always forget to look at that part. I'm sorry. I'm not a murderous man going after cows, but
not yet.
Not yet. But let's jump further along the supply. Do you have something else with the farms?
No, keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say something further along the supply chain. Basically, they are accelerating automation adoption in like warehouses and grocery stores as well. So this basically we're going from farm to table here, but we saw this at like a lot of grocery stores during the pandemic, where like automated checkouts, like people weren't working the checkout lanes as much because they're out on the floor picking like groceries for like online orders and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about it with Kroger and the whole new system, and a lot of it's more automated, and that's what a lot of these companies are doing. They cut labor costs.
Yeah, so yeah, grocery stores have really been doing that as far as like finding out what to stock and what people are buying, and redirecting stock to other stores and that sort of thing. And if you're buying it online, I'm sure they can kind of like know what's popular and what's not, and like use the apps to kind of see what's selling and what's hitting and what's not hitting is like faster.
Well, and like speaking of groceries, like the pandemic saw a rise of like the meal kits from like HelloFresh and Blue Apron and Shamalama Ding Dong, Feed Group. I don't know.
We're not running an ad for those because I feel like every other podcast out there runs an ad for some food delivery service.
But like there's been a big rise in those because people wanted to cook at home. They said it's the first time since '94 that it was like more money was spent on food at home than restaurants.
Yeah, that's another part of like the food chain that had to be reworked a little bit, because I didn't really realize this, but there's a lot of like agriculture that solely sells to restaurants.
Yeah.
So I was watching like videos at the beginning of the pandemic or midway through it, and they had warehouses full of like onions or potatoes or whatever, and they were like potatoes and onions they were selling to like restaurants and not necessarily grocery stores. So they didn't even have like the ability to redirect this stuff to like a different place. That's another thing that they're going to learn from. They're going to learn, oh, hey, we need to have a system in place that like redirects this produce or these things to other places. Because if our buyers aren't buying, then it's all going to be thrown out.
Well, that was the one I can't think of the name. There was one group, like Farm Box or something like generic. But like a lot of small farmers, like the backbone of them is the farmers market, and a lot of those were closed. So a lot of these farmers had to like figure out a way, and like technology companies or like local technology companies came out a way like, hey, you work with us, you give us the food, we can mail your food out to people. And like a lot of people wanted to eat local, so like they teamed up with technology to be able like to grow the food and then still sell it locally.
Yeah, it is cool. Like a lot of people, like you're saying, learn how to cook for the first time. And going back to the TikTok real quick, I noticed that a lot of like restaurateurs or like chefs who couldn't run their restaurant during the pandemic, they all hopped onto these video sites and started their own profiles and just blew up. Like I got into TikTok around that time, and I just followed all these chefs, and they were just like, we don't have anything to do, so we're just going to give you all this knowledge that we have. And there was like a whole influx of like very like smart chefs that were posting fantastic like videos on how to do things. And I feel like a lot of people learned and became little home chefs of their own.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but it's been. Yeah, I mean that's all I have.
Yeah, and then I guess we were going off our little article, but the final thing they touched on in there was about how restaurants were having to change things. So it just talked about how restaurants were having to. We've all been to restaurants recently, and they're all like understaffed. They can't find people to work at a lot of these restaurants anymore, or like they're only staffing about like 70%, 60%. So they're being forced to like figure out ways to automate the kitchen or automate like how to order things. And I know a lot of places like have like automated touchscreens now, or you can order from your phone and pick it up in the restaurant. people not having to answer the phone. There's all sorts of things. And they said there's also like new tools to like cut vegetables automatically or like grill burgers. And I'm not sure how good a lot of those are, but I'm sure they're like freeing up some of the work for other like less menial tasks.
Yeah. I mean, these restaurants need to pay people more and they'll come back. But, what you call it? Yeah, it's like they're going to have to adapt and survive. And yeah, it seems like every topic we talk about, the key word is just more automation.
Yeah, it's going to help keep the prices stable, I think. Well, like you said, you think restaurants need to pay more and they'll get more employees or like more stable employees. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is like it's such a low margin business. And I don't know like the cost of the employees. I know employees can be a large cost for restaurants. So I think maybe restaurants will have to raise prices, but probably that's a good thing.
They're going to do it anyway because like the supply chain got depleted during the pandemic, which is why all these companies are trying to fix that going forward. So its prices are going to go up. And like you have like companies like Chipotle saying, like, oh, it's because we raised wages, so prices went up by 4%. Now you're going to raise the price anyway. You're just using it as like the wage excuse, not like the actual pandemic as the excuse.
So
you don't want to pay people more.
Yeah, I agree. So that's our summer news tech area thingy. I don't know what I was saying. All right. That was our summer series for the week. Let's jump in. We have two final things. We usually have Tech RAP or something along those lines. I couldn't come up with something for this one. I call it Tech Rasputin because Rasputin wouldn't die. They tried to kill him, and he just kept surviving, and, he was annoying. So why I'm calling it that is because this is about robocalls. And robocalls are those incessant calls you get on your phone, and it's usually from a spam company or somebody trying to steal your money. And they're trying to kill them, and this is just a new tool that is being forced on carriers by the government.
Yeah, so they said so far this year there's been 22 billion robocalls. Projecting by the end of the year it'll be like 52 billion robocalls. So, I didn't write down the name. What did they call it, Mike?
Stir and Shaken. I guess,
yeah.
Stupid name. But yeah, basically how it works is it's a technology that ensures calls traveling through phone networks have their caller ID signed. So it's like the phone company sees it as a legitimate source. And then if it's legitimate, it can push it onto you.
Yeah, so hopefully with this technology, it would stop like scam calls and things like that, or potential spam. So I wonder, like, it's not going to cut down on like a company robocalling you. I don't think so, because that would be.
Those are legit. So there's actually some legitimate calls. I think this is more steering towards like illegitimate like robocalls.
Yeah, like your grandson's in prison. Go get a gift card and we'll let him out. Those ones.
Yeah, that one, especially because you have lots of grandsons.
No, but it's just something like else they can do to help protect you and cut down on these scam calls. I'm sure scammers will find a way around it in like a week or two. But
yeah, they'll always find a way to scam an older relative or one of your friends. One of the guys we worked with. He got scammed. I kind of felt bad for him, but also like, why'd you give the scam caller $1,000 in gift cards?
Yeah, anytime you get anything where they want you to pay them in gift cards, it's a scam.
Yeah, just know that for here on out, if somebody's asking you to buy gift cards, it's a scam. So
yeah, or if they're asking you to send them a check for $1,000 and they're gonna send you back a check for like $1,500,
scam.
It's a scam.
Yes.
or if they send you a check for $1,500 and because they can't cash it for some reason, and they say just send them a check back for $1,000 and keep the $500, it's a scam.
Also a scam. So all these are scams. All right, one final story, and this is a follow-up story. We've talked about Microsoft's Xbox Cloud gaming service before, but they finally got it on phones, iOS and Android, and they've kind of skirted the App Store because they don't want to have to pay the App Store fees and, do all the things the App Store wants them to do, so they're doing it through the web browser.
Yeah, but if it's a game, they will still taking out like the 30%.
No,
I thought they.
No, this is the web browser.
Oh, the web browser.
Yeah, so you just go to a website and you can stream it through the web browser. They're doing the same thing on the PC as well.
I was thinking of something else. I'm sorry. I didn't take notes on this one. I did read it. It's even iOS, Chrome, Edge. You can stream them all. Like we were saying earlier, Microsoft is just kind of opening it up to everybody. I guess Apple didn't want to do it before, but now they kind of backed off that.
No, the Apple didn't back off on it. They're just using a roundabout way of doing it.
Oh, you could, yeah.
Their preference would be for you to download an app from the App Store, like a xCloud gaming app or whatever. Something along those lines, and you would stream it through that. But basically what Apple wants you to do is Apple wanted them to list every single game individually on the store and have it purchasable as well. I guess...
Because Apple then get some type of cut?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the reason why they wouldn't do that is because gaming is basically the biggest revenue for all of the app stores. And they've been talking about this for ages. Like basically, gamers pay for the App Store. So the App Store wouldn't exist if gamers weren't on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. And also, we talked about the streaming stick a couple episodes ago. So you can probably eventually buy a streaming stick. You can stream it on your television. They also announced, Alex, that you can stream next-gen games on your old Xbox now as well.
Yeah, that was odd. I thought that was an odd move. Are they just really worried about the supply chain for the Series X and all, or?
No, I mean, because they just know that it's capable, because streaming takes no hardware at all. So you could technically stream games on a Xbox One, not even a current system. So
why did they even make these series, the new one?
Because a lot of people don't have the internet that's capable of streaming to the fidelity that you would want it to. So they're just having all these different avenues available to people. And if you're a very casual gamer and you have good internet and you don't care about the latency, which is the lag, if you don't care about that small little lag, then that might be the route you want to go. But if you want the highest definition, best quality, you want to have a system because that's local. You don't have to worry about the internet lagging you out. Highest fidelity, that sort of thing. So, they're just giving people more avenues to give them money.
Yeah, do you think PlayStation does this eventually?
Well, they already do. They have the PlayStation Now, which streams PS3 and PS4 games.
But I mean on an internet browser or on your TV and all.
Yeah, you can do PlayStation Now also on your phone. You could do it on a PlayStation Vita, and you can do it on your computer through an app.
Okay.
So, but Sony hasn't done a good job of marketing any of this stuff.
But they don't have the Game Pass like Microsoft is trying to do.
Yeah, they don't have. Well, PlayStation Now is kind of Sony's Game Pass, but what makes the Game Pass a extra good bargain is games come to it day one. So Halo will come to it day one, whereas if Sony releases the next God of War game, they're not going to put that God of War game onto PlayStation Now. They'll probably put it on there 2 years later, but they're not going to do it straight off the bat.
Yeah.
So slightly different approaches, and we'll see which one wins out. But I think this streaming thing is interesting, and if I had good internet, I would probably test it out.
Yeah, I have good internet, but I probably won't test it out.
You don't have time. You have 2 kids. You don't have time. 2 kids and 2 podcasts.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe 3.
Did you cancel the father podcast?
I don't know. We haven't talked about it in a while. Let's just end the podcast.
All right. Thanks for listening to The Future Jam. You can find us at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at The Future Jam. I'll try to post more out there. While I was on vacation, I kind of slacked off.
Nah, I did the same thing.
I mean, it's not like our job or anything like that. We're just doing this for the fun of it, and we hope everybody, engages and has fun with us. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next week's episode.
Yeah, have a good holiday weekend, everybody.